Recording. Hey everyone, welcome back to Someone's PC, and it's been an official 4 weeks since we've done a video. Holy crap, we're slacking on the video content side. But a bunch of amazing things have happened for the team since that day. I think that was when everyone started going on a tear with all our regional tops, right? Like Azul won Toronto, Brad just top 8'd, top 4'd Seattle.
Almost.
I got 37th, and then I got 9th at Toronto, which was pretty cool. And then top 32 Roanoke. So we've been pretty much killing it. Lots of fun times. Oh, and then Sosa did his day 1 huge run at Roanoke, and then fell apart day 2 because of anti-turbo dark decks. And then he got top 8 at Seattle. So
man, why am I on this video?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
You're the control, dude. every experiment needs a control. You got us. So, yeah. To start, I think we can just jump right into Seattle and how the current standard format goes, since expanded and the other standard format's gone forever. Without a doubt, Garbodor Drampa was the most played deck at the tournament, or we can just say Garb in general, because Espeon and Drampa, they have a lot of similarities. But I was honestly expecting everything to happen for the tournament. I think there's going to be a lot of Drampa Garb. I thought that a lot of players were going to try cute stuff like Gyarados or like Emre or random things, all that kind of get destroyed by Garbodor. And the like tier 2, 3 level players didn't really respect Drampa Garbodor enough to when they went to a large scale tournament. So how do you guys feel about that? Similar thoughts, or kind of thought it was gonna be different?
I expected someone to come up with some. Well, I don't know if anyone predicted that much Garb. I think that was a problem. I don't think anyone predicted that much Garb. Like, that's a lot. 24 Garb decks out of the top 32. I think people predicted a little bit less, or quite a bit less. That's why they went with Garb themselves over playing an anti-Garb deck. I think if people had known there was this much Garb, you would have seen, like the top group of players I can think of, you'd have seen the X-Files come up with something to beat Garb, like straight up.
Yeah, and they did, but they did not expect this much. I'm pretty confident. I know that Sam was talking about playing like Lurantis Garbodor, which just destroys the mirror match, but doesn't really do as well against like random stuff. So I think everybody knew there was going to be a lot of Garb, but nobody thought there'd be this much Garb. I don't think there's been this much of anything since like Gardeglade. So even Luxchomp wasn't this big, and it's time.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing though. In terms of like sculpting the meta. I think some people complain and like wanted to ban Garbodor, but I think it's just doing exactly what it needs to do in order to push our game in a new direction. You know?
Yep.
Like
all
these people that
and
just play deck
this
side,
is not going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's the catalyst.
Which is
going in.
Which is why I went Vikavolt. I was like, I want to see all this Garb. I want to destroy them, but you know, lo and behold, the stage 2 inconsistencies like reign supreme. So, Brad in particular. Do you like Drampa or Espeon better after playing with Drampa for so long?
Definitely Drampa. Like, Espeon's better against Gyarados, but it's also probably better in the mirror, but not that much so to where I would not want to play Drampa anymore. Drampa's just better all around. You can be more aggressive against anything if you need to. You can beat stuff like Greninja. I think Drampa's just overall better.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I still like one Tauros on my list though, like what Sam did with the one Tauros, one Ninja Boy.
Yeah, I liked everything else I had, so I didn't feel like putting it in.
Gotcha. Azul, if you went, what would you probably play?
Literally, like, so the morning of, I had to wake up to get to work, so I was up pretty early, but I saw that Robin Schultz had day 2'd. If I would have literally hit him up and asked him for his Turbo Dark list, and if he would have given it to me, I would have played it, like, straight up.
Yeah.
And if not, I probably would have. I mean, if Brad was like set on playing Garb and I was there, I probably would have just played Garb. But I literally, like, if I had seen Robin Schultz had day 2'd with the Turbo Dark at their special event, I would have asked him for his list and I would have played it immediately. Like, no questions.
Yep.
Chris, do you regret playing Vikavolt?
Yes, not really. Both, a little bit of both. That deck's really hard to run. There's a lot of thinking involved in the first several rounds.
It's a lot of critical decision making, dude.
Like, you know when you're gonna
Step
lose.
and you fall on your face, so it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So it might not be a deck for someone who like me who kind of goes off the beaten track of thinking.
Lycanroc carving, dude. We'll be okay. Okay, so the next deck that was sort of popular there was Decidueye. I saw a lot of it during the early rounds, and then just kind of faded away to where it needed to be in the background. I think Chase Maloney topped with it, right?
It was the second most
so
in day 2, right?
I think there were 3 in day 2. Chase, Nunless, and I forget who else.
Yeah.
Yeah, there may have been 4, but
Oh,
I know there was...
Bukari made it too, yeah.
Did they all bomb?
Yeah. Day 2,
think
yeah.
they
I don't
all
think any of them top 16.
Yeah, same.
Is that matchup that bad? Garb versus Decidueye? Like for Decidueye?
It's
definitely Garb favored, but it's not like... I mean, turn 1 Plume is still impressive, but that's...
Yeah. I imagine Drampa...
Drampa backhands it. Like, you can't attach
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. So, do you guys expect that to stick around for Madison, or would you pretty much guess that it's going to go away? I know some people are still addicted to playing their like plumes and this and that, but this is 24 out of top 32 is a pretty big shock for the whole community to kind of just be like, oh wow, stop being idiots and start adjusting to the meta and stop playing like these item-based decks. Yeah,
it's not going to be. I don't even think it'll be second or third most played anymore.
Yeah, I don't expect to see much of it.
Yeah.
I still want to run Hex Maniac though, because I'm scared of Volcanion. So.
I mean, Hex Maniac's just good to run. It's just, I think Sylveon will pick back up a little bit. So
yeah,
if Sylveon picks back up, you want Hex.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about that next. Why did Sylveon perform so badly? Like, is it people aren't building optimally? I saw quite a few of them in the first 2 rounds, and then they were all the middle to back end tables by the end of late. And
that's what I was gonna. Yeah. Did anyone actually play it? Like,
I think one of the biggest things was that like a lot of the better players didn't play it. So
yeah, I can agree with that too. I don't think any notable people, no offense to anyone that was there and played Sylveon. I don't think any like notable big name players actually piloted Sylveon at the event. They were all playing Garbodor, which is why I thought Garbodor did so well. I think it was better in the hands of like veteran, like solid players, and they're just punishing all the bad players that are playing items or winning mirror matches just because they're better at the mirror match, just because they understand the game a little bit more, a little intricacies of they're trying to build their list. So
literally, if I didn't play Sam Chin round 1 and we had like kind of learned the mirror match against each other, I don't think I actually would have done nearly as well, because I would have had to learn the mirror match on the fly against other people, and it may not have worked out the same.
Yeah, my games against Sam are always like super close and super funny, because we crack a lot of jokes, and then you have those turns where it gets super serious, and you're like, oh crap, we have to start thinking now. You kind of like look at the board and you're like, oh, this is whack.
Especially because like the first 12 turns are just each person slowly attaching energy and ending, so it's like there's so much room to misplay.
Do you guys think it's safe to say any Sylveon players that were anticipating the Decidueye and playing like one Wobbuffet can just go ahead and remove that from their list now?
Yes. I would.
I don't understand how you can play Wobbuffet, because if you just don't know, what do you if you open Wobbuffet, you just lose?
They Nest Ball, Floatstone.
Oh, so people are playing Nest Ball?
Yeah.
Okay. So all the lists I've seen up to this point had not played any ball, so I was like, makes sense.
There's a lot out there. It's so crazy. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so next up was Ninetales. I don't believe a single one made day 2. I could be wrong.
I actually think 2 did.
One? Actually, no, I think 2 did.
It was one or 2.
Hi, Shay.
It was 1 or 2, yeah.
So, I think the deck's actually really good, and I take it more as a lot of the players that were like super experienced or very good with it just chose not to play the deck, or built in an optimal way. So I expect to see a lot more Ninetales going into Madison, just because.
And Koko makes it better.
Yeah, combining it with Koko, people really like it. Chris, do you like the Ninetales list? Have you tested Ninetales?
I haven't even got a chance to test much of anything. We don't have all these cards on PCGO, so I've just kind of been thinking about what I would play and dreaming and hoping I had these cards.
We should start trading and putting in codes for them, I guess.
We probably should.
I have like 8 Kokos, so if we need them for Madison.
All right, easy. Including
the mana
the one I gave you?
repetition.
Yeah.
It's beast. Azul, Ninetales, like it, don't like it, Octillery, yes, no. You're muted.
I have no idea about the Octillery. I don't know how that plays in there. I actually think the deck sucks up until Koko. I don't know how much Koko changes it, but I think the deck sucks up until Koko. But now that it has Koko, it might become a lot better.
Dang. Have you tested with it? I loved it.
I played against it. I just body it with everything. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's like they lose. Like I go first, I kill all their Vulpix before they do anything. If I go second, just hit.
What are you playing?
Yeah, dude.
Turbo Dark. Scissor obviously beats it, but yeah, I body it with Turbo Dark super fast. It's like,
Oh, say Scissor again. Let these people know.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think Ninetales is good. I like my list with the 1/1 Octi. Scissor would body it, and I think Dark. Yeah, but Dark will probably mangle it too.
Yeah.
Maybe with Koko it'd be somewhat close.
Yeah, Koko might change things. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the deck is like, from what I've played against it, I think it's very underwhelming. But Koko might change a lot because that's the main part is its early game is super. They sit there and beacon, usually turn one. Like what their turn one is so sloppy and slow. It's like or they open Lele and then they can't move it, and then you just pick on Lele for a little bit or Lysander Vulpix when you want. But the Koko should change things, hopefully.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Sosa's influence on the meta with the water box list? So, I mean, he already wrote an article about it, and then I guess like we got a couple thousand reads on it and stuff. And then some people have like messaged me about it, talking about playing it, but he actually top 8'd with it, and showed that he can get through a day 2 full of Garbodor, with a deck that plays like a ton of items inside of it. So I don't know how the general community feels about it. Like if they just looked at it and were like, all right, this can actually be Garbodor, or if they just realize maybe it's just something Sosa has in him to beat Garb, or never let N hold him down. How many times he gets N.
So I think it's more of an attestament to just literally Sosa being Sosa, but the matchup is favored for Lapras. I'm pretty confident, even with all the items.
Whoa, really?
But
I think it's 50-50.
It's
Almost.
probably around 50-50, but I would give him a slight edge, if anything. But then I think all the grass that's theoretically coming out in the next set too, or like the next for Madison, will kind of hold him back a bit from actually playing it. I know Sosa would play it again, but I don't think like Drew would.
Yeah. Didn't he lose the Metagross and stuff, or he tied it?
He tied like everything. I don't even know.
Yeah, he tied a lot.
Yeah, I think that it's a decent deck, but I don't know. It's just so early game dependent. Like I feel like if your hand doesn't just pop off, then you just sit there and collect, and you can't really do that in this format. If you don't have something really, really huge to sit back on later on, and something really, really huge comes at the expense of playing a bunch of items. So it's a.
Didn't you just play Vikavolt?
Yes, but something really, really huge includes something that has 240 HP and one-shots everything for 180 and doesn't need to wait a turn or have a Manaphy online in order to do it. So
Fair.
yeah. And it's Vikavolt. Like, I don't want to play Lapras. Look at it. Look at Vikavolt. It's so beast. So we'll bring that into the next deck. Vikavolt. Since Chris and I obviously love it. Or Chris doesn't. I love it.
I'm okay with it.
He's okay with it. Azul, what do you think about Vikavolt? After getting like the initial impression of it.
It's a stage 2 Pokemon. I say the same thing. Anytime a stage 2 Pokemon is brought up, it's like I can't concede to it being good or worth playing. Like it's if it's a stage 2 Pokemon, it's like, and it's basically 2 stage 2 Pokemon, but they share the same basic. So it's like even more awkward than 2 stage 2s, or slightly. I mean, you have more space, but you have less basic dudes. So I think it's cute, but I think with the fact that everyone should be cutting Shaman, you can't even abuse that fact of it, that it can clean up Shamans really easily. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's too much of a stage 2 Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Not worth it.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
I completely disagree because I love Vikavolt.
Yeah.
But in terms of like that is a stage 2 and it's pretty tight, and it's really, really, really tough to pilot. Like, holy crap. After playing it this weekend, it was...
I mean, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, there's so many things you have to be careful of.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're playing 2 stage 2s off of the same basic, so it's like...
Oh, that's not even it.
Yeah.
It's strong charge. When you search your deck for a grass and lightning, that's that's the most disciplined thing in the world. If you take the wrong attachment, if you forgot that you prize Super Rod, if you have the Brock's Grit, if they end you out of the Brock's Grit, and you have to play into it, if you bench your Lele too early on turn 1 or 2, and then now you can't Lele because the other one's prized for the Brock's Grit that you need later.
Does it have to be? Does it have to be 1 grass, 1 lightning, or can you take 2 lightning, 2 grass? It's one of
It has
each.
to be 1 and 1
Has to
or
be
1
1
and none.
1 and none.
Yeah.
Or none and none.
Yeah, or none and none. So those are the really bad times. And you're
Yeah, it's like
strong cards per game. And I looked through my deck and I was like, oh wait, it's
Is that a-
prized. I'm sorry. So, I don't expect to see any of that. A single mirror match. I think people are gonna play test with it, and then they're gonna go, okay, this is kind of really tough to pilot. I'd rather just play something not on this level, or it's really really risky. I know Chris and like our list was 14, 15 one-ofs, 16 one-ofs. Yeah.
It has to be built a little more consistently, just a little bit more.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just believe, dude. We went over this. Just believe. One alone in Vulpix.
So I did believe, and I got punished for believing.
You lost to Andy Gray. You poor
Stop!
thing.
Why would you say that? No one else needed to know that. Oh.
Hey man, so
What
did
a-
Kenny Britton in a mirror
No, but
match.
Kenny's easy.
Yeah, Kenny's
Like,
super
Kenny's
easy, dude.
super
Kenny is
easy.
really really easy.
Kenny's been on like a downward spiral, dude. He just loses to everyone.
He was 601. He lost to me, and then he just lost to everybody else.
Yeah. And then he couldn't beat anyone on his locals either. He's just losing to everyone.
Oh yeah, he had a really really good league up as soon as he went home.
Oh dang! Then you got
Poor
like
guy.
12 out of 14.
Yeah, something like that.
Some real bad.
Jeez.
My how the mighty have fallen. The Greninja. Okay. Vikavolt, blah blah blah. Lycanroc. So
Azul?
that's
Slash?
like the knee jerk reaction for everyone
What is
looking at Garbodor.
what is Lycanroc weak to?
Grass, dude.
Grass.
Yeah.
Tapu Bulu. Bang bang.
I actually expect to see. I'd be more afraid of Vespiquen. I think that could definitely see a big influx.
Same.
Um,
Especially after top of the list is gonna go online.
Yeah.
Yeah, people won't like that.
I mean, the deck is just it has a good guard matchup. So
It's really hard to play though.
Vespiquen,
I mean, like it's hard to play well.
yeah,
Yeah.
way harder standard than expanded for sure.
We'll just play Karen. It's fine, guys. We're fine. We can
Yeah.
Tapu Lele for it now. There's no point.
Yeah. I mean, you can Karen or Courier are definitely optional attacks.
Ooh,
I feel like it's gonna be one of those.
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those. What are we talking about again? Losing track.
We're talking about
Lycanroc.
Lycanroc.
Oh, Lycanroc.
Which turned into Bulu, which turned into Vespiquen.
Which one is Vespiquen? I don't know. I put no time into Lycanroc. I think Zygarde is just better than Lycanroc. If you're gonna play Lycanroc, something that's already weak to grass, just play Zygarde. Like
Play both. Mm.
you could
Okay,
play
no,
both.
those.
But that's like the only problem with that is like if Lycanroc's attack was like 2 fightings, but that'd be too good maybe. So it's a fighting DCE, which it just doesn't it doesn't synergize well with Zygarde. Like just Zygarde Regirock doesn't seem horrible. Like that seems like it would have just been a good play to play at Seattle. Just
With Landorus and lasers and Halucha, like we were thinking about for
if we're an expanded,
Yeah, for Toronto.
yeah, if we go back and do that, that'd be good. But too much Toad apparently.
Yeah. So I think Lycanroc's okay. I mean, cool. You have a built-in Lysander. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's about it. Its GX attack is actually really really beefy. It hits people.
What's the energy cost on that? Is it
Two.
fighting colors?
One-
It's fighting DC, yeah.
Funny, yeah.
Okay.
Oh no,
No, it's fighting colorless for the GX.
yeah.
Its second
Okay.
attack is fighting DC.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't put any time into it, and I feel like it's okay. But I feel like if you want to play something that's weak to grass, is fighting type, you should just play Zygarde. Like I don't think Zygarde's very bad right now. It has all the same weaknesses as Lycanroc, besides the built-in Lysander, of course.
However, I don't think Lycanroc's a good play for Madison because Vespiquen and Bulu are coming. Even if people think that Bulu and Lurantis is bad, I think they're still gonna test it and still try it out. You know, like, for the sake of trying it out. And you don't have enough favorable matchups with Lycanroc. Outside of like what Drampa Garb and Vikavolt that you're like kind of typed against. Like it doesn't seem like there's
Yeah.
much to do with that. So whatever. I always thought the concept was underwhelming, but Drew was trying to shove it down my throat with Azul. So here we are.
Salazzle.
Salazzle? Wait, Salazzle Lycanroc? Is that what you're saying?
Salazzle Raichu.
Raichu.
Oh.
Hit all the
Yeah.
hit 19 stage ones.
I think bats are still better.
Really? That's Azul? It's
Yeah, because the free retreat, you can open Zubat and then evolve and get out of
Zubat's
the
not free
active.
retreat. Dude.
No, you evolve to the Golbat on the next turn. But if you evolve to Zalazzle, it's still stuck there.
How much retreat does it have?
Doesn't matter, dude. You have to burn a DCE.
No, play float. It's fine.
That's
Feel blood.
unnecessary. Feel blood. Yeah, like I don't know. That's why I still like the bets.
We'll just move on because I think people got enough of Lycanroc. I know Alex Boberith tried out Lycanroc Carbink this weekend, and he barely missed out on top 32. I'm not sure where he completely placed, but I thought that was a concept too. But now that Bulu's out, I honestly don't see it coming. We can move on to Lurantis Tapu Bulu now with both Lurantis promo and Lurantis GX. I love Bulu. I think you said it sucked, right, Azul? You just don't like it.
Bulu, I think he sucks. I think he's better in Vikavolt than Lurantis, though. Like, I think he's way better in Vikavolt than Lurantis. Like, Lurantis, I think he's fucking terrible. It's just like there's nothing works for him, and you lose all your energy, and then if you didn't lose all your energy, it'd be interesting. But to actually like pull off a,
you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. But if you don't, what are you doing? Hitting for 120? Like
in a band?
That's a lot.
130?
130?
And
120, 140, 170?
And two Lurantis? 190?
Yeah, with
if you can get that much, if you can get the Fomantis out there without them dying, yeah.
Dude, we play Forest.
Yeah, but then why don't you swing at? Yeah, why don't you swing at Lurantis then?
Cause Bulu.
Because Bulu just dies faster too. That's the thing. 180.
You can Horn Attack
for
60 on turn 1. That's not bad.
Wait, was Lurantis promo not legal for Seattle?
It was,
Nope.
but no one wanted to use it because everyone's playing Garbodor.
Okay. That's another thing. Just like Lurantis actually beat Garb.
Yes.
I need to test that actually.
You can swing for like 90 with the first attack and accelerate energy with one other Lurantis and a choice band. That seems pretty good.
Okay.
Oh wait, Drampa can't Oko you. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So like I've actually put a decent amount of testing to Lurantis pretty early on, and it felt very underwhelming with Bulu as well because Bulu's been legal on PTCGO for a while.
Yeah.
And he just felt very underwhelming. And like I feel like whenever you commit the energy to Bulu, you usually have to discard him to make him effective, and then you're back to flower supplying, and it can be so easily played around of like what you're trying to do. It just felt very underwhelming, even with the Bulu.
Gotcha. I haven't tested much outside of Vikavolt, and I'm really liking him in Vikavolt so far. Its 3 retreat kind of sucks though. That's pretty annoying. So I have to change my list a little bit to make up for it. Dang. So much crap going on. Brad, what do you think happened to the Greninja, dude?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. It seemed like it would be a decent play for Seattle. I just think the deck itself is kind of awkward. You always just get you kind of concede one game every so often just because you know you're going to dead draw. So I don't know. I feel like it should have done better in Seattle. Just nobody played it.
In a perfect world, if it perfectly drew well, then it's by far super strong.
Yeah, I mean you could still lose to Garb though, because especially like Sam Chen when they were playing 2 rescue stretchers so that they could get Garbotoxin live. Even if you killed it, they would just get it right back immediately. You're almost always gonna have a troublesome play. People are playing like 4 float, and you have plenty of time to find the first Garbodor. So, and then Drampa can go in, but I feel like as soon as you set up the breaks, you kind of beat a lot of decks. I know a few people played it and they ran into Decidueye because Decidueye was still kind of big day 1. So I think the Decidueye hype and the few people that played it actually hit Decidueye. So
yeah. So better play for Madison than for Seattle, Chris, the Greninja.
I think so.
I actually think it's worse if grass is actually hype.
I think it's worse.
Well, no, man, screw that. Greninja.
Because Lurantis seems to be one of the more hype decks going in. Also, Vespa Queen is a thing, so if they're afraid of Greninja, they can like Tina promo if they want. They still play Hex, I think, too. I've actually put a decent amount of time in Greninja, and you have to play the Greninja side versus Garb very, very well. And one thing that I was playing that I don't think many other people were playing is Jirachi promo, which is huge in the matchup because they don't they don't play that many basic energy compared to special energy, so they're forced to put their special energy in play, and you just chase them down for a while until you set up stuff, and then you kind of just go from there. But like, I don't think many people play Jirachi promo, which I think is huge in the matchup. Like swings the matchup to close to a 50-50. But even then, the Greninja player has to play the better half of the game. The Garb player can kind of sit there and just start swinging with whatever they want.
Yeah. You can trap a Drampa active too if they play dumb and then instantly put a ban on it. You know.
Yep, let's go to Jirachi promo wins.
Yeah.
Not with my moons, dude.
I actually really like that card. I think it's solid and pretty well balanced. And so we'll take the
Card
Altar
is
of the
very
Moon
good.
and run into Darkrai with Philip Schultz. So I was kind of going around like, hey, did you see Philip's list at the tournament? They're like, yeah, I hate it. Or someone like, no,
15 energy,
that
2
was
VS.
garbage. Four Lysander, stupid. I actually tend to be part of the group that believes that list was actually really, really good, and that's kind of like how lists are gonna look moving into the future once we lose VS Seeker.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
A lot of like.
I basically copied Schultz for Drampa Garb, and I just like their lists in general. They're like 4 float and Yveltal kind of thing from forever ago. So every list I look at that they send me always has a town map, which I don't always agree with, but everything else seems pretty good. Yeah.
I love their explanation too. Like,
It's like a trainer's map.
You play town map, that way you can get like the DCEs you need out of the prizes instantly there. I was like, that sounds stupid. But do you expect to see any Darkrai, or will people continue to disrespect Europeans and not play it? Azul.
I mean, I think so. I think if you want to play Turbo Dark and beat Garb, like it's definitely like I put some testing into the list, specifically the list that Robin played. It's favored against Garb for sure, and it like the 4 choice ban pretty much allows it to run over a lot of decks that you maybe think it wouldn't, because O-Wing does so much damage and puts on so much pressure, and the 4 Lysander adds to that as well. You get to choose your target constantly. So the deck is like obviously built to beat Garb, but I feel like it's deceptively strong versus everything else. Because I think you just start running over everything before people realize. Like old Turbo Dark, it's basically old Turbo Dark. It's a little slower, but I feel like everything in this format is a little slower. So it gives Turbo Dark gets more time to get more energy in play, basically. And I think that deck's really good. I don't think we'll see a huge influx of it. I think it is pretty hard to play, the deck itself.
What?
Like I think it's way harder than old Turbo Dark. You don't ramp out as fast. You don't ramp out as fast. So you have to kind of take your time and kind of sit back a little more instead of going super hard. So I feel like people could fall into the trap of playing it like old Turbo Dark, where they go too hard and then they're just going to start losing energy too fast.
I can agree with that, especially now that we have Field Blower. You can't just go,
yeah,
and then they feel like share and you lose.
I don't think a lot of people will pick it up, but I think it's definitely a good deck. I think it beats Garb, so what else do you really need? I think it's deceptively good. It looks like it's not as good against other decks, but I think it's like still very strong versus pretty much the meta.
It's still Darkrai. It'll always be strong. You know?
Yeah.
You can't hold it down. Okay. We're actually running out of lists, which is pretty sweet. The final 2 decks were going to be Volcanion and Mega Rayquaza? Sorry, I had to jump all over the place with what we were talking about. Do you guys believe Brooklet Hill Volcanion is strong enough to beat Garbodor? Or is just everyone's building it correctly? Or it actually does beat Garbodor, or it doesn't beat Garbodor? What do you think?
So, I think Azul and I played like 7 or 8 games, and he was playing Brooklyn Hill Volcanion, and I was playing Drampa, and I lost every game. So,
Ooh, juicy.
I think it's pretty. And it wasn't even like I like dead drew 8 games or something ridiculous like that. Now it was like every game was pretty solid. There's even one game where he dead drew and still just won. So
yeah.
I think it's pretty heavily Volcanion favored if the list is built right.
Yeah. So contender for Madison, definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. Azul, do you think you're gonna update your Volcanion list later this week?
Yeah.
If you have time.
Hope,
I know
yes.
you're super
I have
busy with
time.
work, dude. So.
Yeah.
Right.
If I have time, I'll definitely get it out there.
All right.
If not, I can do it. I can do it for him.
Yeah, Brad can do it.
All right, team effort. We're gonna get there. Yeah, the final list would just be Mega Rayquaza, unless you guys think of anything else to talk about, which we kind of tacked on before. It's kind of fallen out of favor. Everyone's playing Sudowoodo.
Where's my Cardi, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're not playing Sudowoodo, you're making a mistake because the card is like just good. Turn 1 Sudowoodo in pretty much any deck that doesn't need all 5 bench spaces is just super strong. It's like yeah.
I can't play
that was the one thing I kind of well, Vigavolt's a little different, but that was the one thing I kind of regretted not playing in my list at Seattle was Sudowoodo. I didn't care about Gyarados, I didn't care about all that other stuff to tech like Azul or whatever, but I thought I would need Sudowoodo just for like Rayquaza and then it'd be dead and everything else, but it's literally just great in any matchup. So turn 1 I want 2 Drampa, a Trubbish, and then I really don't care what the other Pokemon isn't playing, so I'll just grab a Sudowoodo and kind of cuck my opponent a little bit. So it just seems too good not to just throw in if you can afford the bench space.
Yeah, it just comes down to if you can fit it on your bench comfortably.
Yeah, like Volcanion or something where you have to have like 7 Pokemon to play, but
Yeah, Carl Shu played against me using M-Guardy, and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. He had his own Skyfield with Sudowoodo in play, and I was like, oh, you rascal. I don't even know what to do right now.
Chill, dude, he was playing my list.
Dude, I Hex Maniacs and then dropped 4 Pokemon. Then I was like, alright, end my turn, and just went, woo! Straight shot him with it. Alright, guys. Any other decks you think we should bring up? Discuss? Anything off the top of your head that didn't pop up? I'm pretty
Scizor?
Oh my god.
Skizor?
I guess Scizor.
Man, I don't want to play
What is
Spirit
it?
Link for like the next.
Solgaleo, Lurantis.
What about Metagross?
Ooh, Metagross is a good call. If you don't expect to see Volcanion, and if you can draw it really, really well, it beats Garbodor in the face. It beats Drampa Garb, and like really.
Yeah.
Does it?
Wow. Yeah, it does.
They just have ability lock Garb still.
No, that's not enough.
I feel like it's close.
It's really not. You gotta believe.
Not. I mean, especially now that I don't know, it depends how many blower you play. I guess field blower, like the field blower count. I just assumed most people would be playing 2, but it seems like everyone pretty much defaulted to 1.
Yeah.
Like
I'm playing
at
2.
at Seattle.
List.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it should be. Almost in any deck, I feel like it should be 2 though. But it feels like almost everyone went to 1.
Yeah. Sweet. Final thoughts or anything you guys want to say? Brad, Azul, Chris.
I think
No.
that's
What
I think that's it.
All right. What are you guys currently expecting yourselves to play, and what do you expect to see the most at Madison? Like, what decks are you guys trying to counter? We'll start with Brad.
I still think Garb is going to be the deck to counter, and honestly, if I had to pick right now, I'd play either Darkrai or Volcanion. I want to test some sort of like Lurantis stuff and then see how bad the like Volcanion hype actually is. But like Lurantis Garb or something like that. But yeah, for the most part, I would probably just play Volcanion or Darkrai.
Azul?
Yeah, I think so as well. Not sure about Volcanion. I don't know. I feel like the meta for Madison might be really weird because it might be like a lot of people still playing Garb, and then a lot of people playing, still playing their Decidueyes, Vileplumes, and still people are playing like old school Turbo Dark, old school Volcanion, Mega Rays.
Wait, he's
not adapting to Garb, and then there's going to be people who are building decks specifically to beat Garb. Like they're taking Volcanion or Turbo Dark and changing the list to beat Garb, and then it's like whatever versions of those decks beat each other is going to be like the best deck at the tournament. So I feel like the meta could be very awkward. Like people are playing Lurantis that beats Garb, and then people are playing Volcanion that beats Garb, so Volcanion just kind of wins. So I feel like it could be a very weird meta. Overall, I think I'd play Turbo Dark as of right now, but yeah.
Chris.
Vikavolt or Darkrai?
Dang.
Darkrai.
Yes,
What, man?
that Darkrai.
I like Fort Lysander, man. It's angry.
It is angry.
Chris had
Kill all those rubbing, dude.
you had your best finish with Turbo Dark too, right?
Yeah.
Just go back to the Turbo Dark.
It only had 2 Lysander. What can happen with 4?
And you have 15 energy now too, so you can attach every turn. You don't whiff the max elixirs as much. You still whiff them actually.
Oh no, I'm gonna draw all the energy in 1 Darkrai, and then that's it.
Yeah.
All right. On another note, just so everyone's clear, we stopped taking in any kind of bulk with the Plastic Store. We suspended that program and are no longer taking in bulk. So if you sent them, they're going to process it, and then it's already done. But other than that, don't send any more, or the form. I already took the page down and everything. So good for that. It was a fun time, fun experience. Quite a bit of headaches for me in particular. So we just wanted to shut it down and guess like focusing on our competitive content again and really improving this format and the deck story we're building, because we're pretty much rolling this into Intercontinentals, and then Worlds we get the next set drop, right?
Yeah.
Then we're chilling on that, so should be fun. That new Gardevoir, wow, you guys see it?
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean,
Is it-
it's a
Does it
stage
move
2,
or
but it looks
attach?
really good.
Yeah, it's a
It
stage 2.
attaches an extra energy from your hand every turn.
Okay. But it is a
But
stage
yeah, it is
2,
a stage 2, so
But the GX attack.
yeah.
Yeah, anti
Mini
Garb.
Trump.
That's crazy. Mini Trump.
I feel like you would just beat Garb anyways, but
No, you played on Tiller Delay, dude.
yeah.
Well, back then, dude. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you could just play Gallade.
That's pretty good.
Octiller, Gallade, Guardy.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of Tapu Koko variants. The promo that
Yeah.
are gonna see they're gonna see play, but I think most of the ones I see are just they kind of fall flat on their face to Garbodor, unless like Garbodor has a really awkward start, and they think they can just sweep them with like 20 damage for 5 turns in a row. The Garbodor player just does nothing against it, which I don't see
That's-
happening now with Garbodor, without with Drampa running rampant. So maybe
Yeah.
some form of energy removal might help it out, but
Yeah.
Right
I think you
side
pretty
is really
much did. Pretty much everyone play the magma base Drampa at what's it called?
some played Magma Base, some played Rainbow, some played a mix of both.
Yeah, most played Magma Base. Some played Magma Base and Rainbow, but
Okay.
Is what it is.
I feel like you have to switch over to magma base. Like I think the turn 2 pressure of
down.
turn 2 Drampa is just too strong to like not play.
Chill.
Sick. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This should be our final video for Madison, because I think all of us getting super burnt out. At least I am. The traveling's getting taxing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go to Mexico too.
Yeah, you're wild.
Jeez.
I'm excited. Like I'm personally excited to travel because I'm just tired of work personally. So I'm just like
Oh,
I wanna leave and go. I'm ready to play.
Told you to
like-
come to Houston, dude.
And I feel like I just got back.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta go again on Friday.
My boy Jose comes here tomorrow too, so we can start driving up together.
Let's go.
Oh, geez, the drive.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take it easy, and thanks for logging in.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.